answer?
Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel. This is Jenna.
We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can find all of our social media links at thishishowtowatchtv.com.
I'm just looking at my notes and realizing that I didn't...
Take notes?
No, I didn't keep track of what day it was. And I normally do that very diligently. Mm-hmm. I don't remember when it switched over to a new day, because this is day 45 to day 46.
Oh.
So this is a Chronologically Lost episode 45, November 5th through 6th, 2004, days 45 to 46.
Okay.
They're always super complicated episode titles, and just date
Ridiculous.
and days. But,
yeah.
I don't know. I will say that I didn't necessarily like this episode as much as I have previous episodes. I don't know if it was because it's not the opener of the season anymore, or like a finale of a season. I liked lots of the pieces, but I miss the visual stuff of being outside.
I'll tell you why you didn't like the episode.
Why?
Because Anna Lucia was in it.
Brief. She was briefly.
She was enough to just irritate the hell out of me.
Yeah, you don't like Anna Lucia, huh? She's not, you said she was your favorite. You were going to get a tattoo of her.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly
what I said. A
what
tattoo of one of her sayings.
No.
Remember one of her catchphrases?
Right. No, I don't. What are they?
I don't want to tell you if you don't remember. I thought you were a big fan.
Okay.
Well, I know we started on day 45 at the raft, and it's obviously morning.
Walt!
Yeah, that Michael and Sawyer are on the pontoon as Michael's crying like a little bitch. Sawyer had a bullet in him and didn't cry that much.
Right. Never cried.
Michael realizes it was his fault, like has a genuine moment of perception for the first time in fucking forever, because he seems to be oblivious for the most part to how people...
the first time in
Oh, Jesus.
forever.
That's probably why that phrase came out. Yeah, he realizes it's his fault for bringing Walt on the raft. Valid. He vows to get him back.
Kate told him not to bring Walt on the raft.
She did, but she was just saying that to get herself a spot.
I get it, but they wouldn't have taken Kate.
So did you catch that he vows to get him back for the second time? I'm willing to bet this was around the time where we see that the wife, or the ex, kept him from seeing Walt.
Oh, okay.
You know, where he would vow to see his son. I'm going to get my son back. And then walks out in front of the car or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sawyer notices that they're nearing the island again and says, "We're home."
The current brought us back.
Yep. At the hatch, Kate is crawling in the vents, and she finds her way into the gun closet, which is still very small at this point. Doesn't have the extra bed space.
Right.
She loads up a shotgun and knocks out Desmond, who fires and, of course, hits the
computer.
Yeah.
So, as she was loading the shotgun, I was thinking to myself, man, I couldn't do that. Like, I
load a shotgun?
legitimately would not be capable of doing that because I've never loaded a gun in my life. So...
I mean, but you haven't seen enough shows to figure out that the basic idea of a shotgun, I think, is that you bend it in half. Like, there's got to be a release, and then the shells fall out, and the metal end has to go on the back, so you just put the other part in.
I'm just saying.
You wouldn't be able to figure it out. You've not watched Supernatural
I feel like
enough.
I need to go to the gun show.
I don't think they teach you there.
Where have you seen the gun show? Okay. No, I mean like the
What
gun
are you
range. I mean go to the range.
Oh,
Figure this stuff out.
Not the gun show.
I was just saying that because it would be funny, so you would do that.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay, good. This is not a pre-planned bit, surprisingly.
I know.
Not our best moment.
It was
Okay.
good. It was a funny one. They laughed, right?
Anyway, the lights go out in the computer, and Desmond says we're all going to die. And it felt very much symbolic of the way that they said that about the light at the source. You know, if the light went out, meant basically death for
But we
everybody.
haven't gotten to that point yet.
No.
We haven't seen the light or the source.
Yes, we have.
We haven't seen the...
That was the first part of the show. One of the very first things we saw in like the first or second episode was learning about the source.
Man in Black going down there, but we didn't actually see it.
Well, no, the water, the light, the source, the light was the source.
And the magical donkey wheel. Great. We're all on board.
Well, no, what? No, no magical donkey. That was what he built to try to harness the light.
Okay. Who built it? Man in Black? Okay.
Yeah, that's what he built to try to harness the light with the scientists that he had on the island with him.
Okay.
Why are we? What? Do we need to go back and watch episode 1 and 2 of this podcast?
We might need to start over.
Just start over on the whole show. We're just gonna pause.
We got to 45. We need to go back to 1.
We gotta stop. We're gonna stop halfway through and rewatch the whole first half again, and then start podcasting again.
Okay.
Right. You'll see you in 56 weeks or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was cool the way the light just kind of went. It felt very much like the way that
on
it
the
did.
Computer?
Yeah, when Desmond ended up being the one to pull the cork too.
I feel like we missed something on our set tonight.
Oh right, that would be good.
Even though
we didn't miss it, it's right
even though we haven't seen that part yet, I just feel like it should be in the background somewhere. Maybe on this one over here. Block Kate in the tree. Yeah, that's good. It'll be a glare on the camera the whole Sorry, I have to think about those things. So just because you would think about those things. Okay, perfect. All right, so and we're back.
Yeah, we went to the opening Lost after the light goes out in the computer. Then we come back in the hatch. Desmond has to fix the computer, and he's struggling with Jack. He explains the timer and the imminent threat, and Jack's like, or what? It's just really, really defiant in this episode. I mean, really, like, difficult.
I get it, though.
Well, you get why he's being that way?
Because it doesn't make any sense. And, of course, anybody could be like, okay, then the timer goes down, and then we're all going to die.
I mean, if the timer wasn't there, more valid point.
But it could be just a mind fuck that the Dharma Initiative was doing to screw with everybody.
Except it wasn't, because they caused it.
I know. However, I get why Jack was so adamant that it was nothing.
Yeah. Well, Desmond asks if he knows Jack, and then he checks out the computer. Of course, there was no answer on that. They had to tease that for most of the episode. Desmond is looking through all the bookshelves for something, and then Kate goes out the now discovered front door to find Saeed.
Thank goodness, it was right there.
Right. Well, but as we saw in the map, the door is on the same side as the thing, so they just had to go down.
They were just on the
they just had to go around
wrong
the
side
corner
of the hill.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, that was such a random ass occurrence. Remember how they found the hatch?
He dropped like a water bottle or something.
No, Locke or Boone tossed each other a flashlight, and it landed and hit metal.
Oh yeah.
And sounded hollow.
Okay.
I mean, totally random. If they
Really
hadn't done that
random.
right there, so they could have either just missed it, or
Yeah.
maybe they would have walked right around the corner and found the door and been like, "Oh, hey, look at
Look at this.
I don't know that they would have been able to open it from the outside, but maybe, because Desmond had to be able to go out and get back in.
Right.
Anyway, Desmond finds a jar, and then Jack grabs the jar and demands answers. So, what the fuck was the jar? Any idea?
Don't remember.
Okay. Desmond tells him he crashed 3 years ago, and he was on a solo race around the world. His boat crashed into the reef, and Kelvin came running out of the jungle. Hurry, hurry, come with me. Not true. Kelvin dragged unconscious Desmond out of the water, remember?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And dragged him back. And then he woke up in the hatch.
And then he said, hurry, hurry, come with me.
Yeah, then he said, we're on the beach. Hurry, hurry, come with me. See, now we're here.
Right.
That was a few minutes ago. First thing he did when they got back was to enter the numbers, and then the noise stopped. And he'd say, what was that all about? Just saving the world. I mean, we've literally seen that scene.
Yes.
Jack is unimpressed, and Desmond tells them that they saved the world together for a while, then Kelvin died. The end. That's it. There's no more.
Yeah, that was...
Now we're here.
And I was waiting for Jack to be like, yeah, how did he die? Like, what happened to him?
Yeah, did he happen to die on the rocks
Did
when
he
somebody
commit
slipped? And
suicide, or...
Are these his brains on the ceiling here? Nope, that's Redzinski.
Right. Did you murder him? Yeah, I mean, there was no question. It was just like, oh, he's dead, okay, and...
I wonder who knows about Redzinski's. That was just Desmond, right? So it wasn't anybody that would actually know Redzinski later? Yeah, I don't think so.
That was it.
Okay. Jack is arguing with Locke about whether it makes sense to push a button. Jack doesn't want to take Desmond's word. And then Desmond tells him to watch the film. It's behind Turn of the Screw on the bookshelf. Projectors in the pantry. Nobody was like, pantry?
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
That would have been the first fucking... Wait a minute, pantry? What do you mean? There's food.
Yeah.
There's like food. Can we just like pause for one
but they still
time
have
out?
not slept.
Can we just time out and eat a sandwich?
Right. I'll take 4 dilly bars and...
There's no refrigeration. Come on, don't be... Well, there has to be refrigeration because milk.
I mean, I guess it could be powdered milk that they add to water. You know, like...
That's not milk. Gross.
Just...
Well, they find the orientation film anyway. They don't go into the pantry really. Jack goes in there and just grabs the projector.
They didn't show that, though.
No, they did not. We go to the Tailies, and Cindy is helping Libby do something on the beach as Jin washes the shore.
This doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because what? He's been floating face down for the entire day? And he's not dead?
The island saved him, Jenna. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not... That sounds sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean...
He couldn't have been on something? Like, he couldn't have been on...
Drugs?
No,
like,
not on drugs.
What? You think he was floating on something and holding onto it and then just randomly got up on the beach and now all of a sudden he's face down?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He was obviously knocked out or something, right?
Just watching it in this order is like, oh my god, he's been floating for 12 hours.
Right, well...
And now he's like, right there.
But,
no big deal.
But he may have just been on something and then, ate it when he walked on the beach and knocked himself out. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's...
plausible. Then he's just floating there in the water,
face
almost
down.
drowning and then not drowning. Yeah, I don't know.
He had a magical snorkel on.
Yes, he had a magical snorkel on. The island is a snorkel.
Yes.
It's a metaphor. Let's see. So he's alive, and then now he's tied up, and Mr. Echo asks who he is and where he's from. Jin still doesn't speak English. And do you think he's like, did Michael get taller?
Who?
Because, people, like the reverse racist thing. Where people say, like, Koreans or Asians or whatever look the same.
Oh,
like,
because
if he was thinking...
Echo came out?
Yeah,
No.
because Echo came out, he's like, Michael, did you pop a shirt? Maybe?
Right.
Can you pop a shirt on?
Yeah. Definitely not.
Terrible. Anyway, Anna's suspicious because of the broken handcuff on his wrist.
I don't blame her, even though I don't like her.
It's weird that they recycled that plot. Same plot from season 1.
Yeah.
Like, he's wearing the handcuff. He must be the criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Echo doesn't think that this is a threat, or that it's a threat, and Jin breaks free as Sawyer and Michael walk on shore. Boom. Right there. Jin breaks free, running with the stick, and Mr. Echo coming up behind him.
That's awesome.
Right? It took a few minutes to figure that out. I'm like, okay, wait, he's got to be running, and then he's got to be coming up from behind.
That's what she
Let's
said.
see, he comes running out shouting. They untie him, and he says others, but he says it like he's talking about a cow's milk producing
Udders.
glands. Udders. We see them in silhouette form, the tailies, for the first time, and I remember that being a fucking amazing end to an
Yeah,
episode.
that was really good.
Now, I believe that was the end to the episode, the episode before the other 48 days, where that was, you didn't know that was them.
Right.
You didn't know who that was. You thought that was the others, which
Yeah.
was like, holy fucking shit.
We hadn't really met the others
They
yet,
had
except
some
for Ethan.
brutal-looking weapons, which they never had prior to that.
Right. Well, because
Or
they're
since.
prepped now. They want to like fight for themselves.
I guess they never had that at any point other than that one shot. Like Echo didn't carry a big stick with spikes on it.
Right.
He carried his Echo stick. It's just one of those things where you see it for the first time and then they make it into something else.
It was good.
Almost great shit. Mr. Echo beats the shit out of them and drags them into the jungle, and then they toss him down into the pit. And Michael is, of course, asking what anybody else is up to and how they're feeling. Nope, he's asking about Walt again. Just Walt. Have you seen Walt? Walt!
Walt. I'm here, Walt.
You'd think at some point Walt would just be like, okay, shut the fuck up. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm here, Dad. Shut up.
At the beach, Hurley is playing fetch with Vincent, and then he helps Saeed carry a box while commenting about the previous night. He wasn't even there for the baby stealing part, and Saeed assures him it wasn't very exciting.
Right.
And things are returning to normalness, and then Kate runs out calling for Saeed, and boom, there goes normalness.
Always.
I mean, or is it more normalness?
think
Because
it's more
that's sort
normal.
of what the norm
It'd
has
be kind of
become on
boring
this
to just
island.
lay around and do nothing all day. So.
Right. Boring beach. Nah.
Right.
Who wants to sit there with sand and water?
Right.
Go back to the tailies, and Anna tells Echo to hit her so she can find out if they're okay. And he does. And Sawyer's asking Jen what he knows, and he simply calls them others. Did he see Walt? No, they had him blindfolded, and they try and push Sawyer up, but the top is tied, and then a knife comes through right next to his hand or whatever.
Yeah.
And he falls, and then Anna's dumped in by Mr. Echo. So, yeah, she's going in undercover. She's using her police training to really trick him.
I hate her.
She's possibly the most sympathetic character in the entire series. You just have to see it from this point of view. I don't have that. Just kidding.
What point of view?
Hers. I mean, she got shot and her baby died. That sucks.
Okay, yeah. Everybody has something bad that happens
That
to them.
sounds very
and they're-
dismissive of somebody losing a child.
I'm just saying, she's just a terrible character. I don't know. They put in the sympathy card for her. I get it.
Yeah.
But that didn't really happen to her, so that's why I'm not sympathetic.
I don't feel like you're giving Ana Lucia a fair shot beyond Michelle Rodriguez.
That is true.
Okay.
Because I have to look at Michelle Rodriguez's stupid soggy eyes every time she's on air. I can't take it.
Okay, well, we go to the hatch, and Locke and Jack are setting up the projector. Jack asks what was going on before he got down here. And he's like, Kate was tied up. Desmond had a gun on me. You pretty much saw everything. I
Right.
mean,
That was about it.
Jack repeats Desmond quietly to himself. Like, it seems familiar, so he's starting to put it together, too.
But did they ever say their names to each other? Like, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm Jack. I'm Desmond.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yep. Am I going to have to go punch a baby out there? I don't understand
Punching
what's going on.
babies.
So, yeah, so just talk about Jack and Desmond.
Oh, I'm just gonna talk about Jack and Desmond, and Joel's just punching babies, and then I really have nothing to say at this point. Lots to say.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you did. That's just that. Thanks. I'm sure that was riveting stuff. Anyway, let's see. Jack thinks what Desmond is saying is impossible. And he's like, why is it insane? Because the last time he saw a computer that was going to save the world, it didn't look like that.
Did he ever see a computer that could save the world before? Unless
That is a good question.
Unless he's talking about something in an operating room. But that wouldn't necessarily save the world. It would just save a person's life.
Right. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think he's just saying that computer's old as shit.
I get that.
I really want one. I don't want it for any other reason than to sit there and run that program, though.
Just to blink the little happy face at you? That is irritating. What a waste of space.
It would blink that, and I would type in the code every 108 minutes. I want to make a working box.
Oh my god.
I want to make a working, box timer, even if it's just a clock.
You can put a timer on your phone every 108 minutes. It'll go off.
There's an app, a Lost app.
But why would you want to do that? You'll never get a good night's sleep. It'd be like having an infant all over again.
I could turn it off when I wanted to.
No, I don't know if you can, because that would be cheating in the game.
I mean, I'll let the timer run down. I don't have an electromagnetic pocket there that I'm trying to... So, anyway, he says, are you weirded out because Desmond recognized... Or Locke's saying to Jack, are you weirded out because Desmond recognized you? Because that would be impossible.
Right.
You know, then we see it's Dharma Orientation Film 3 of 6. Station 3 is the Swan. Dr. Marvin Candle, one of his aliases. There was always, just some facts from the tape, there was always an intention of 2 people being in the hatch. The Dharma Initiative was created in 1970. It was the brainchild of Gerald and Karen DeGroot, 2 doctorate candidates at University of Michigan, Ann Arbor being near there. Mm-hmm. A large-scale communal research compound where they would do research in meteorology, psychology, parapsychology, zoology, electromagnetism, all funded by Alvar Hanzo. The shift was intended to be 540 days for 2 people. The Swan was originally constructed as a laboratory. They were studying the unique electromagnetism emitted from this section of the island. They gave away a lot.
Yeah.
You just didn't realize what was important, I guess, information-wise. Not long after the experiments began, there was an incident, and since that time, the following protocol has been observed. Every 108 minutes, the button must be pushed. 4 minutes left, the alarm sounds, and then, take alternating shifts. Don't use the computer for anything else. The film was made in 1980, and Locke wants to watch it again.
Yeah. I think we watched it several times.
I don't know that some of the stuff that they're saying matches up. It wasn't being used. I mean, was it being used for... Was it a laboratory before the incident? Or weren't they building it?
They were building it when the incident happened.
Right, so it wasn't already a laboratory. That was something they were building.
Maybe they were wanting it to be a laboratory?
I don't know. I mean, it's fine. That's nitpicking. But anyway, Locke is getting the film ready to watch again, and Jack is not interested at all. I think he's just like, I don't know what his fucking point of view is here, honestly. I don't know what he's thinking.
He thinks this is a waste of time. Let's go hit up the snack bar. That's what he's saying.
And then doesn't walk into the pantry and grab something to eat.
At all, no.
We go to the tailies, and Anna wakes up in the pit. She asks who they are. They tell her about being on Flight 815. She basically tells them they were in the tail section. And she lies and says she's been by herself the whole time. Says they found her yesterday. Michael's asking about Walt. They introduce themselves. Quiet Korean guy's Jin. I thought that was pretty funny for Sawyer. Next time Shaft opens the cage, brandishes weapon, and she looks nervous. I mean, what the fuck does she think right here? Does she think that they're lying?
I don't get... maybe she's thinking that the others are trying to infiltrate their camp again and pretend to be on the plane.
Okay, that makes sense. That, like, a Goodwin kind of a situation. I mean, they end up trusting him, so I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what the fuck she's thinking. She's so untrusting all the time.
She's very...
And I get it, because people were getting, like, kidnapped and seemingly tortured or whatever, but... Anyway, at the hatch, Desmond's working on the computer. Jack asks if Desmond is in contact with anyone. He's like, I wouldn't be here if I was. He didn't know about the crash. Or how didn't he know about the crash? And he's like, look, man, I press the button every 108 minutes. I don't get out much. All makes sense, you know. It all holds up. Kevin died waiting for his replacements. He's like, where does the food come from? No answer. Just one of those questions that gets asked and then nobody responds.
Right.
That doesn't happen in real life. When's the last time somebody asked you a question to your face and you didn't answer them? Like, at all? Jack is grasping for any of this to make sense. Says there is no quarantine. Does Desmond really think that this is the only part of that is true?
Desmond thinks what?
That the button is the only part that's true. The quarantine part wasn't true. You know, he's saying, like, all these other parts don't make sense, so you believe this one ridiculous thing is valid? I mean, I guess I get where he's coming from.
Desmond absolutely believes it because he had to go in and put the key in. That's what caused the plane crash.
Nope. Incorrect.
Oh, wait. What? Are you sure?
Yes. Am I sure? We watched it, and that didn't happen.
He didn't do that yet? When does that happen then?
When the hatch explodes, or implodes.
I thought he said that he had to turn the key.
Nope.
Oh, I thought that's what happened.
He entered the numbers. But he knew...
Oh, that's because Calvin died and he was late running back and he
Yeah.
entered the numbers. But was he late? Did that happen the day of the plane crash?
Yes.
So that electromagnetic pole was not pulling the plane there?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, so I was just wrong about the key.
It built up so much because he didn't release the energy.
Yeah.
And so it pulled the plane to the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Desmond believes because that happened. Right?
I would think, well, he doesn't know yet. He hasn't figured that out. When they go to the other hatch, he sees the printout and it shows system failure and it's the date of the plane crash.
Oh, okay.
And then he realizes that he brought the plane there because of the thing that was happening with Kelvin. But the ground was shaking when he ran in there.
Yeah.
Everything was shaking. He had to know something was going on.
I would think so.
So I think he believes that shit's, yeah.
I mean, he definitely acted like he thought the end of the world was coming.
Yeah. Well, Jack says, do you think maybe someone's fucking with you? Like, is this a mind game experiment, possibly? And he's like, every single day. Like, how could you not think that? Of course you're thinking that. What a dick he is. No bedside manner.
No.
Not that this is bedside, but Desmond hopes it's not real, but this is an electromagnetic station, and every time he walks past that wall, my feelings hurt. I thought that was pretty good.
Who said that?
Desmond.
Oh.
He said, every time I walk by that wall over there, my feelings hurt.
Yeah, and that
like
one
when
guy
Jack's
died.
Key,
that one guy died from a
filling went through his brain.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a nice little setup here for later when
Yeah.
that happens. 49 minutes left on the counter. He turns on the computer and it shorts the power, and Desmond's losing it. It's over. And 48 minutes left. Desmond goes into the pantry, grabs some food and injections, and then Locke is trying to convince Desmond to stay. I think he's just like, oh my god, somebody else that knows what's going on here for even a little bit.
Yeah.
Somebody that's not being an asshole like Jack and is actually open to stuff. I think he just wanted a friend.
Yeah.
Jack is all, no dice. He's going as far as he can run. Jack is all calm and sure none of this is real. Locke says this wasn't supposed to happen. And Jack's like, what was supposed to happen, John?
Right. Tell me. Please tell me what was.
All smug and shit. And Locke asks not to be left here on his own. 47 minutes. Locke looks at the computer, fumbles with the toolbox, drops it, then loses his shit and screams again. You know, this time, what am I supposed to do?
Which he said a few times.
I mean, he's like, the other time he screamed, he was like, I've done everything you asked, so why did you do this to me?
Right.
But yeah, he's just talking to the island again, and I wonder if it's listening? You know, is there any not consciousness, but is the island a thing like that can interact with the people? I mean, is it just the electromagnetism that's all special, or do you think that the island itself is an entity?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think that we haven't seen Jacob in a really long time, and that sucks.
I agree there. Why couldn't they just let him pop in?
I mean, I guess that
Why couldn't they have just shown him watching something in the later seasons so that it could have shown up in here now?
There's nothing. I mean, even him just working on his quilt a little bit, you know?
I mean, to be fair, that would have been the weirdest cutaway, and we wouldn't have known what the fuck was going on if they just cut to a dude in a foot sewing a fucking...
Working a loom.
Yeah, working
making
a loom.
this giant Afghan.
On an island. Who needs a blanket?
Right.
Ugh.
Maybe it's a bed mat.
Well, anyway, at the hatch, Locke is crying like a little bitch this time as Kate returns. She brings Hurley and Saeed. There's 24 minutes left. It's like the show 24 now.
I didn't catch that.
Nah, it's not. Kate's trying to reset the fuse box, and Hurley finds the pantry. We go to the pit, and Sawyer wants to have Jin play the sick prisoner, and Anna's sort of appalled at the suggestion of such a lame trick, I guess. You really want to do... It was like a con. That's what it was. He was pulling a con, and she's like... She just called it out by the name of the con.
Yeah.
Oh, you really want to do sick prisoner? That's kind of cool.
Well, because he would have done that in prison, and she's a cop, so she gets it.
Yeah. She asks how he got the gun on the plane. Why didn't he use it when they grabbed him? He's like, gee, I guess it was too busy getting hit in the face with a club.
Right.
I feel like that was a little bit of a shot at the whole, I have my gun at home for protection. Like, what, are you going to go to your safe and open it and get it? Hold on a second, bad guys. Wait.
Right.
What was it?
Well, no, they have those safes where you can just put your hand on it and it opens up. Have you seen those?
But you still have to get to the safe, and then...
Well, I mean, so you have a safe by the front door, and a safe in your bed, and a
You
safe
have
in
a
the
safe
kitchen.
everywhere. Have a safe on your belt.
You could.
Just have a safe around
You
the
know
gun
that
on your...
Jeremy's aunt was a cop
Uh-huh.
and went to holster her weapon and accidentally shot down her leg, and the bullet went all the way down her leg to her foot, inside her freaking leg. Awful. I mean, like, oh my God, that would be the worst thing ever.
That sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah.
The coming out the foot is the worst part.
I don't know where it came out, but if it came out the bottom of her foot or if it came out like her shin,
Yeah.
you know.
So, anyway, Anna takes the gun and punches Sawyer, and then... Did you catch what she was yelling? Because it sounded like she said coming out or cut me out or something.
Coming out. She said it
The
twice.
way she said it was so stupid.
Yeah,
Coming
like,
out!
Coming out! I'm coming out! But, like, why? Why wouldn't you be like, hey, Echo,
Yeah, like...
come get me?
Well, anyway, he lifts them out and asks who they were. Lifts her out and asks who they are. In the jungle, Desmond's running and trips down a hill. Apparently, Jack has been chasing him the whole time, even though...
He didn't
was
want to fetch a
talking
pail
to-
of water?
Yeah, he didn't fall down or break his crown. He's got a gun, and Desmond's like, oh, yeah, the code. Like, that was why he was chasing him. And Jack is not interested. He says nothing's going to happen. And Jack is adamant that nothing is going to happen. So, he doesn't work on faith. In about 15 minutes, you're going to be very right or very wrong, brother. Jack yells at him, asking why he's running. And he's like, you don't even know what you're running from. And then that's what triggers Desmond into remembering that, the running.
Uh-huh.
He mentions that Jack said he had failed a girl. He asked if she was okay. And, like, is she? It doesn't matter. What happened to the girl? It doesn't matter. I married her. Yeah, and he took the implication that they were no longer married and see you in another life, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to leave now because you're a real fucking bummer, Jack.
Right. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah. In the hatch, there's 5 minutes left on the timer, and Saeed is trying to fix the computer. Locke is confused, asking, don't you want to know why? Like, you don't need to know? And Saeed's like, look, it's counting down to something, and, you said the computer needs to be repaired, so...
Figure you'd tell me later.
Yeah, right, we'll figure it out, no big deal. Kate finds the fuse box and resets it. We're at 4 minutes, and the beeping ensues.
Well, I mean, for Saeed, I'd imagine that he works like that quite a bit. Like in the military.
Yeah, where you don't get to ask questions.
Right,
just do
you
the
show
thing.
up, there's a timer, you freaking fix it, and then we'll tell you what was
good
going
point.
on.
Yep. The beeping ensues, and Saeed switches it on, and the cursor shows up. Locke tries to remember the code, and Hurley is not digging it, and tries to logic them into not entering the code, and until Locke puts 32 instead of 42, and he's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we're good.
never
Let's go ahead and press enter.
Jack shows back up and says it's 42. Desmond just told him. And then Locke pulls a power play. Not even a power play, just a desperation move. Like, look, you're going to have to be in this with me too. Yeah, I want you to do it. And Jack's like, meh.
And then you press execute.
He says it's a 2-person job at least. And Saeed is going to push it. And Jack's like, no, don't. And if it's not real, then why did Jack come back? And he's like, why do you find it so hard to... One of my favorite interactions of the show.
Yeah.
Why do you find it so hard to believe? Why do you find it so easy? It's never been easy. And there's 1 minute, beeping intensifies, shit's getting, tense now. Kate thinks Jack should do it, and then Locke says he can't do it alone, or at least doesn't want to. It's a leap of faith, and then Jack does it literally as it clicks 1 second left, and then it resets instead of ticking to 0. And Locke says, I'll take the first shift. And you can just tell Jack is so disappointed in himself. It's the best. I love it so much.
He's like...
He's just disgusted that he fell for it. Hurley in the hatch is looking at the pantry as music plays. I'm assuming this is the next day? I don't know where the days changed over here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I let you down.
Yeah,
Did not keep track
I'm guessing that this is where it switched over, but like what, they all went to bed after that?
Maybe.
The first shift, but we don't know if... I don't know. This might still be the same day.
Mm-hmm. Hurley's looking at the pantry as music plays. Nope, this is it, because Hurley wakes up. I'm assuming that meant it was night.
He woke up?
Yeah.
When?
We'll get to it. Hurley's looking in the pantry as music plays, and he starts stuffing his face with chocolate and chips and milk and everything. Jen says, "Hi there, Hurley." And he's like, "Dude, you speak English?" He's like, "No, you're speaking Korean." And then it gets subtitled, and he's speaking Korean.
See, I'm thinking this is still the same day because they haven't slept in so long that now I know he's technically
But we don't
dreaming.
know how long. We don't know how long passed between Locke's shift and Hurley's shift. Is the only reason that I'm thinking some time passed.
Okay.
No, literally no scenes occurred in between there.
Yeah.
The shop clerk who sold the winning lottery ticket to Hurley was the guy in the chicken costume that appeared next to...
He was at the gas station or wherever?
Yeah, wherever he bought the lottery ticket.
7-Eleven or whatever it was.
But he was the guy standing next to Jen in the chicken suit.
Oh, okay.
And every time he blinked, it beeped. He blinked every time the beeping occurred.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Birds seem to have some sort of significance to Hurley. You know, he would eat chicken. You know, the Hurley bird.
Oh, okay.
You know, there seems to be a little bird connection there. I don't know what, if anything, that means, but
bird's the word.
Yeah, there it is. Jen says everything is going to change and have a clickety-click-click day. Did I ever show you the video where I said that to somebody?
No.
Oh, I don't have access to it, I guess.
Okay.
There was somebody at the...
Subway?
No, at Strax. There was somebody at Strax that was working there, and they had to dress in a chicken costume.
Oh, my God.
And they were standing outside, and so as I drove past... I filmed it and said, have a clickety-click-click day.
Oh, you did show me that.
Yes.
You were in the car, right?
Yeah, I was in the car. I mean, I'll never get to it now that I, wanted to quickly show it to you, but I wanted to quickly play
Kind
it.
of like me trying to find the Vanilla Ice video on your website the other day that doesn't exist.
Right, it's gone. I don't know where the hell that is. I did find it, though.
Have a clunkety-cluck-cluck day.
You too, man.
Good stuff. I mean, how often do you see somebody in a full chicken costume that you get to say
All the
something like
time.
that? Yeah, it happens too
time.
often. Let's see. So, Hurley wakes up, and much like that dream, I had about alarm clocks in Walgreens when I was a kid. He integrated it into his dream. So I'm in Walgreens for some reason, and an alarm clock starts going off behind the counter, and neither the clerk nor myself can get it to shut off. And then they finally get it to shut off, but then another one starts going off along a wall that's now all alarm clocks.
Oh.
And then eventually I was like, oh, I have to wake up.
Oh, yeah. It's time for me to get up
And
and
then
go
I
to school.
woke up and turned off my alarm clock,
Nice.
and it was fine, But just much like that, he worked the beeping into the dream. The blinking in the dream was trying to wake him up.
I get it. Okay.
It was something just fitting in from one to the other. Kate wakes him up from resting his eyes and points out that the numbers are written down. And he's like, I remember the numbers. He types them in, and Locke went back to the beach. Kate is taking the next shift. She says Jack told her about Hurley's job. And, at least we have jobs again, right? Hooray for us. So Hurley's job is going to be the food. Wasn't that what he ends up having?
Well, I mean, right now he's typing in the numbers. So I'd imagine that they all have jobs and they have different shifts that they have to work.
Yeah, okay. In the pit, Sawyer's thirsty. Jen is trying to human pyramid out again. Michael starts yelling. He's back on the Walt kick again. Ugh.
Oh my God.
Enough with Walt. Right now, Rambina and her buddies are trying to decide what to do with us. Nothing we can do until they make up their minds. Sawyer's shoulder's not looking good. He asks Jen to pee on it. Thought that was pretty
Gross.
funny. Echo tells Jen to grab the rope and then says please. And Sawyer tells Jen not to. And it tells Jen to do it or she'll shoot Sawyer. And then Sawyer, like, smugly turns to Michael. She ain't gonna do that. There's only one bullet. Gets hit in the side of the head with a fucking rock. Amazing.
Oh my God.
The best. Yeah, so we get a nice son of a bitch. And then Michael grabs the rope, gets pulled out.
Bitch.
You want me hot lips? You're gonna have to come down here, and shuts the gate on him.
Oh my
He's
God.
like, bitch.
Yeah.
And then end of the episode.
It was good.
It was good. I don't know. There's something to be said for the mystery of the hatch versus actually going in it.
I mean, I like the hatch. So.
I do too. I mean, it just, yeah, I especially like. I guess I especially like it in this order. Mm-hmm. It's so much easier to palette all the fucking things that are going on. I don't know if I would have been as interested in it to start, like originally seeing it that way.
Oh, probably not.
The mystery of it all was what was so intriguing, and the way it was jumbled. But man, this is a really satisfying, companion piece to the whole series. I think if you've watched Lost, you owe it to yourself to watch this through once.
I think I still am always excited to see another hatch. You know, like, even though we get inside this one, like, I want to see more. Give me more hatches.
Right.
Show me what they do, where they're at.
Where do they fit into this whole mythology and everything? And yeah, I totally agree.
Right.
I can't get enough of that kind of shit. Show me, except the temple. Fuck the temple. That was so lame.
That wasn't really a hatch.
I know. It was the temple and it was lame.
Okay.
Anything else? I mean, subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. You know that. You're already here. Why am I telling you that? Don't bother.
Unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
Yeah, unsubscribe and resubscribe just so we know you're watching. Leave a comment every once in a while. Let us know
lots of
what you think. Tell us we suck. Tell us we're good. Tell us you like this or that. Tell us
we suck.
Okay, don't tell us we suck. Jenna can't handle it.
I don't like it.
She doesn't like being told her voice is shrill and annoying.
It's really hurtful.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Whatever. Is this not gonna?
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.